Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on this channel where we explore the strange and unusual. And thanks so much for your comments and feedback. You guys really help me grow and I appreciate you watching. And now, let's get into the video. The year is 1900 and the world is vastly different than the one we live in today. Across America, small towns exist in relative quiet isolation. Their existence surrounded by sprawling farmland and forests, cut off from the rest of society by long dirt roads and dirt tracks. People live simple lives dictated by the rising and setting of the sun, where the borders between reality and fantasy are blurred by superstition and tradition. These communities are bound together by the rhythms of nature. Storytelling around crackling fires and a sense of shared history passed down from generation to generation. For some, this life is peaceful. However, for others, the isolation can be stifling. They dream of bustling city streets, electric lights, and opportunities beyond the horizon. And thus, stories of daring escape become local legends. Tales of those who broke free from small-town life and forged their own paths. In one such community stood a tight-knit group of people eking out an existence on the edge of a vast forest. This ancient stretch of towering trees was so deep and uncharted that many locals avoided it. For them, it was a place of unsettling silence and lurking shadows, a symbol of everything that lay beyond their understanding. But for Thomas Whitaker, a hard-working farmer and devoted father, the woods were a place of peace. He often escaped to its solace, breathing in the scent of pine needles under the canopy of tall trees. To him, the forest held a strange magic, a connection to the earth that soothed his soul. He would gather firewood, hunt for sustenance, and listen to the silence that others found so unnerving. But one day, Thomas's walks into the woods would become his final journey. He disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions. Thomas was a man deeply rooted in his surroundings. He had been born and raised in the small town of Ashton and knew every inch of the land. He married Margaret, a woman from a neighboring farm, and they built a modest but sturdy house on the outskirts of town. Together, they had 2 children, a boy and a girl. And their days revolved around the needs of their farm and the demands of their family. Thomas was respected by his peers, known as a man of few words but unwavering reliability. He was a man who kept his promises and honored his word. On the morning of October 12, 1900, Thomas woke up early, as he did most days, kissed his wife goodbye, exchanged smiles with his children, and set about his daily chores. That day, like so many others, he planned to spend some time in the woods gathering supplies for the coming winter. He packed a small satchel with bread and cheese, slung it over his shoulder, grabbed his trusty axe and headed toward the tree line. Margaret watched him go, not giving it a second thought. She had seen him disappear into the woods countless times before, and knew he would return with the coming dusk, laden with firewood and stories of the forest. So she went about her day, tending to the chores of the farm, the rhythmic tasks providing comfort and familiarity. However, as the day wore on and the sun began its slow descent, unease started to creep into Margaret's heart. The forest, usually a place of familiarity for her husband, was today shrouded in an unnatural mist, hiding its secrets and muffling the sounds of the day. Still, she tried to dismiss her growing worry, reminding herself that Thomas had spent countless hours in the woods and always returned. But as twilight deepened into darkness and still no sign of Thomas, fear began to take root. She called out into the gathering gloom, her voice trembling as she asked for her husband to respond. But only silence answered her. Panic swelled within her, hot tears mixing with the chilling dread. Night fell, bringing with it the sounds of owls and crickets. Still no Thomas. The hours ticked by, each one heavier than the last. Sleep was a distant impossibility. Instead, she paced the floorboards of their home, her prayers mingling with the howling wind outside. By morning, the forest had not yielded up its secrets, and neither had Thomas. Fear gave way to a terrible certainty. Something had happened to her husband. Ashton residents awoke to the news of Thomas's disappearance. A hush fell over the town, the usual morning bustle replaced by hushed whispers. Menfolk, grim-faced, gathered at the Whitaker home, exchanging theories in low tones. The forest, once a source of life and livelihood, had now become a menacing presence, its depths hiding whatever had befallen Thomas. Under the leaden sky, a search party formed, venturing into the woods to try and find their friend and neighbor. The familiar path into the forest seemed to stretch endlessly, each bend and turn revealing nothing but more trees. As the day wore on, the party split into smaller groups, combing through the underbrush, calling out Thomas's name. The silence of the woods was their only response. Days turned into weeks, then months, and the forest remained tight-lipped. The initial hope of finding Thomas alive faded with each passing day, yet Margaret refused to give up hope. She kept Thomas's clothes, his boots, his chair, all in their place, as if he might return at any moment. She continued to light a candle by their window every night, a beacon in case he found his way back home. The mystery of Thomas's disappearance became a constant shadow over the town. People spoke of it in hushed tones, wondering if he had met with foul play or if the forest had swallowed him whole. Theories abounded, but none could explain the lack of evidence. Hadn't he stumbled upon something he shouldn't have? Or had he been taken by someone who had meant him harm? Else would he have vanished without a trace? But as time went on, the theories became less frequent, and the sadness of Thomas's absence settled in. Margaret never stopped believing that her husband would come back to her, but the passage of time inevitably took its toll. Her children grew up with the memory of their father as a bittersweet ache in their hearts, a mixture of love and loss that never quite faded. Their small town remained unchanged, a microcosm of life in early 1900s America. The disappearance of Thomas Whitaker became a local legend, cautionary tale whispered around crackling fires on cold winter nights. It served as a reminder of the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the surface of their seemingly ordinary lives, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. So what happened to Thomas Whitaker? Did he succumb to the unforgiving wilderness? Perhaps he lost his way, stumbled and suffered an injury that rendered him immobile, slowly fading away amidst the trees. Or did human malice claim him? Maybe his disappearance was tied to something more sinister, something that even a century has failed to reveal. Or was it the work of something more mysterious, a spirit of the woods claiming another soul? These questions linger, echoing through the halls of time, reminding us that sometimes the most haunting mysteries are the ones that remain unsolved, forever leaving us on the edge of understanding. Today, the memory of Thomas Whitaker still resonates within the small town. Those who knew him or heard his story carry it as a weight on their hearts, a reminder of the fragility of life and the permanence of loss. For some, his disappearance remains an open wound, a constant ache in the fabric of the community. The woods where he vanished continue to stand, a stoic presence that neither reveals nor conceals its secrets. Visitors sometimes venture into the area, drawn by the eerie tale, hoping to catch a glimpse of the past or maybe even experience a fragment of the unknown that claimed Thomas. In a world that often values answers and closure, the story of Thomas Whitaker stands as a stark reminder of the limits of understanding. It is a testament to the fact that sometimes the most profound truths lie beyond our grasp, hidden in the labyrinth of the unknown. In the absence of answers, we are left to grapple with the questions, to confront the unsettling reality that not all mysteries are meant to be solved. Thomas's disappearance is a chilling echo of the inexplicable events that have unfolded throughout history, serving as a reminder of the boundaries of our comprehension. It compels us to acknowledge the existence of mysteries that may forever elude our understanding, urging us to respect the limits of our knowledge in a universe that often defies explanation. Do you believe Thomas Whitaker's disappearance was the result of a tragic accident, the work of a malevolent force, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts below. And as always, thanks for watching.